A Precocious pair, a Xanth fanfic, Hick farm chapter. Okay. After they leave the ghost town, returning back to Xanth, they continue to retrace their way, and they get up to Hicksville again. And Hick girl meets them, funnily enough. Hick chick meets them, and she takes them to her home, to Hick farmstead. And there's still some there's comments from a family about how these creatures look a little bit, they ain't natural boys, sort of stuff. And but what happens is that it's night comes and there's a fire, and in the barn there's a fire which explodes in the barn, and the electricity goes out because it gets short circuited, and the car is blown up as well, which is in the barn, the vehicle they had to get around. And they have to try and, the way that the barn fire is going to catch on to the house, and they need to put the fire out. But there's no way of getting into town there's no way to call the fire station, because the phone line is down now because of electricity. So they Hick chick, Shock Brumby says to Hick chick to get onto his back, and as her family watches, he rides her and then goes all the way back to town to get the fire engine. The fire engine comes, and they return to the fire engine, and the fire's put out, and it's saved. The barn is a wreck, but the house is saved. And then they celebrate the magical creatures of Xanth then, and think that they congratulate them, and because they saved the barn, so they did a hero's deed. And then when it all wraps up and they leave Hicksville, going back to what would generally be Lonely Highway 2 after that, the Lonely Highway again. This time they decide that they're not going to go on a Lonely Highway and it's Lonely River, but that's yet to be talked about.